Hey everybody, Mobile Gamers Unite. So I haven't made a video in a while, wanted to put out some content, and today's the perfect day because we did have a stroke of luck, which was pretty cool. So as I've mentioned before in my previous videos, I was going to be using this time to work on the characters I have because there's not really anything new for me to pull. But I did look over the banners, and you guys have heard me talking about how I really want Listell for the alt account, especially now that Renny's out, because they are a very nasty combo and they complement each other quite well. So what I've been doing is every day I've been buying the $4 bundle that gives you like 2 of the summon tickets, and today we actually pulled an SSR. And it was kind of cool because I remember the SSR was coming down and I was like, oh goodness, come on, let me get Listell. And Landius popped out. And I was like, oh, well, it's cool. I run Landius. I can make use of these shards. But then I remembered we got this whole Valentine's Day thing going on. And I was like, cool, I actually get to partake in this. So I took the 50 Landius shards and the 1 exchange coin that I got, and I traded them for sweet Granny Listell. Yes. So that is what's going on the alt account. I just pulled her. She's at like a 400 power rating. But I did want to kind of talk about the role that she fills, especially if you're running a Yeless Legends team, which is what I'm doing on my alt account. So pretty much in a nutshell, her and Renny, they work really well together. Because for Renny to use Renny Annihilation, the enemy has to have any sort of debuffs on them. So Listell naturally puts a debuff on everybody that she does damage to, and that does count for Renny, for her to do a Renny Annihilation. Okay. The other thing too that I wanted to mention about Renny and getting her Annihilation, it seems that anything like a sticky bomb, that also counts as a negative effect. And I recently learned this because I was fighting an enemy with 2 debuffs, and I had it was Leon. He used his helm, Death's Breath, and he put a counter on the enemy. The enemy did not have 3 debuffs, but if I included that sticky bomb, then yeah, he had 3 debuffs, and it worked. I tried Renny's Annihilation ability, and it most definitely worked. You know it works because your enemy's magic defense turns into a 0. So for Renny, for her to use that Annihilation, it will literally let you use pretty much anything that's on the enemy that's just a negative effect will count towards Renny's ability. Yeah. So it makes it much easier for her to use Renny Annihilation, and that's important because sometimes, you know, you're fighting an enemy and they only have 2 debuffs on them, and you're like, oh man, hard pressed to get that last debuff on them, and debuffs usually only last a turn, so you got to keep stacking those things for Renny to be able to really shine. And like I said, also, Listell helps with a lot of things because she messes with your enemy's healing. So she complements Renny very well, and they are both Yeless. So you don't necessarily have to drag Basil along if you don't want to. And that's probably what I'm going to be doing because I play Basil on my main account. And don't get me wrong, Basil and Renny are just ridiculous. And I also have Lana to go with them. If I want to splice my Yeless team with some Dark Reincarnation, I can do that. But I would prefer to run a full Yeless team, you know, get that 1 fusion buff to affect everybody if I could. And I think Listell, because she is also Yeless Legends, and Renny just stand out together so well. Yeah, this is the Listell on my main account. I wish the one on my alt looked like this, but she does not. She's nowhere near this yet. Another thing I'll say about Listell here is it was really easy to get her to 5,000 power level. It was almost too easy. But actually, the coolest thing about Listell, and I've made a video about her before. I actually invested the runestone into her, and truth be told, guys, I might make her a Reaper again just so she could get that +1 to her attack as far as range goes. In her Reaper form, she can attack people, 2 blocks away. And if you run Vampire Bats with her, they get to use their lifesteal ability even if she's attacking somebody 2 blocks away. So that's awesome. Personally, I thought it was great. So I might put her back into her Reaper form just to run around and, mess around with it some more. I did get the Reaper class, and then, I got right back to getting everything for Blood Empress. This right here, this ability that she gets, Reaper's Touch, this is a must if you have Listell. It's absolutely amazing. This ability will just take a healer out of the fight for, let's see, for 2 turns, which is more than enough to cause some serious damage to a team that doesn't have a healer now. Because effectively what this does is now anytime your healer heals anybody, she's doing damage to them instead. And this is just absolutely awesome because some healers can't even help but not heal or to heal. What I mean by that is some healers will heal people that are just standing around them without even trying. So even if if you tag one of those healers with Reaper's Touch, even if the healer doesn't actually try to heal and one of her, passive abilities heals allies around her, they will be taking damage instead. So this is definitely an awesome ability, and it has a great range. I've noticed, man, you can tag a healer from like 8 blocks away. If you have the magic boots on her that give her extra movement, which I don't know why you wouldn't. It's just great for her because she's magic defense based and they're a magic defense stat boot. It gives her some more mobility, and this thing has a 4 block range. So if she can move 4 blocks and then she can tag a healer 4 blocks away, it's just really awesome. On top of that, she can double as a there it was. Yeah, as soon as you become a Demon General with her, she can get Demonic Guard, which lets her be a magic tank. Now, for me, this isn't that appealing because I have Landius right there, and he's committed to being a tank, and he's pretty good at dealing with mages and archers and all that good stuff. So I don't think I'm going to be going down the Demon God path with her, at first at least, but I will definitely be going down to Blood Empress to get the Reaper's Touch. Along the way, you also pick up one of her nastiest abilities. Where is it? Or maybe it's Demon... Hold on a second. I lost it, guys. Okay, sorry, okay. No, that's the real reason to get her Demon God ability is because of this Blood Dance that she gets. This does a ton of damage because it's based off of her health. So you're going to lose a certain amount of health, and the enemy is going to take double that in damage. So in PvP, this is great. She's awesome for just finishing people off. And after she hits you with this, remember, you're going to be cursed with her curse. So you can't receive healing. It'll just hurt you instead. So, really, from what I've seen, if you get hit with Blood Dance, the odds of you surviving that turn are pretty slim because you just took a ton of damage, and now if anybody tries to heal you, they're going to hurt you instead. So this is definitely an awesome character. She's fun to play. She messes with healing, and she can easily turn the tide of battle. So I've always loved this character. I just think she's awesome. She makes Matthew seem cooler because apparently she's his great grandmother, something like that. And obviously this is Landius's old ladies. I mean, he got with this freaky vampire chick. I think that's pretty cool. All right, it sure makes Matthew a more interesting character. You know, I mean, we've all known that Matthew was half demon and all that. They've made that pretty clear. But I think this is pretty cool that, you know, Listell's the one that ended up being Matthew's great great ancestor, and Landius is the one that hooked up with her. So, and by the way, Landius, I think he's got to be one of my favorite tanks in the game. He's just so versatile, and that is why I run Yeless, and that is why I'm so happy to finally get this girl on my alt account. So I will officially say I am done collecting heroes on the alt account. I do believe I have every single Yeless Legends character. Let's go over that real quick. Yeah, and this is on my main, okay? But I also have every single one of these characters on my alt. And these are the characters I'm going to be working on. I can always take a few of these out and put a couple different characters in. And I think that is one of Yeless's strong suits, is they mesh together very well with just about any other faction. And the other thing that I really like about Yeless, the fusion power, it's simple, but it's good, okay? A lot of times, fusion powers have a certain criteria that you have to meet in order to get that extra 15 or 20% damage, which is huge. And sometimes you can't meet those criteria. So what you do is you use your fusion power just to buff your stats a little bit. And that happens a lot with Empire. When you're running an Empire team with Bernie's fusion power, which is giving you 20% extra damage instead of 15. But you only get it if you're fighting an enemy that you're strong against. Most of the time, you're not going to have that advantage. So, yeah, you're going to get the stat buffs, but you're not going to get the 20% extra damage. This is the exact opposite of that. You're always, well, it's not 20% extra damage that you're going to get, but Landius gives you 15% extra damage as long as you're not strong against the enemy that you're fighting. Because let's face it, if you are strong against that enemy, you're already doing double damage, okay? And the stars kind of have to align for that to happen. I mean, there's going to be plenty of skirmishes that you're going to be in where you might be strong against one or two of the troops, but everybody else you don't have an advantage over. And that is where Yeless really shines, because that Landius' fusion power, what's the best way to put this? He increases average damage. So pretty much you're always going to get that extra 15% to your damage. It's easy to control. As long as your enemy isn't weak against you, as long as it's a fair fight, you're going to get your 15% extra damage. And, I mean, that's all damage. That's not just skill damage. That is all of the damage that you do. Because I know some people are going to say, well, hey, Princess Fusion Power, you can get 20% to your skill damage. Yes, you can. And that's very nasty, but that's only to your skill damage. You have to be dropping skills to do 20% more damage. With Landius' Fusion Power, it's very simple. You're always going to be doing 15% more damage, no matter if you're using a skill or if you're doing a basic attack. It's always going to be there. In fact, I have to invest some runestones into this guy. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Looked at it 1,000 times. I'm so used to seeing it. I went right over it. Active skill, attack, and defense increases significantly for all Yeless Legends allies within range. And damage increased by 15% when not battling units over which you have class advantage. Last 4 turns. That's awesome. This pretty much means you're always going to have 15% more damage. Unless the enemy is weak against you, in which case you're already doing double damage. So you really don't need the extra 15 or 20%. So this is why I went with Yeless on my alt account. This was a pretty big reason of why I love this fusion power and how simple it is to use. You know, I started playing with Dark Reincarnation, and at the time, I thought that was a great fusion power because, well, it's pretty easy to get debuffs on people. You know, give me one turn, I'll have 3 or 4 debuffs on everybody because I have Basil and I have Lana. But as the game is progressing now, I'm starting to notice how it's a little bit tougher to keep those debuffs up because now we're fighting enemies that have dispel abilities, that are immune to some debuffs. So, you know, comparing that to a fusion power like this where I cast it and then I always have 15% more damage, that's awesome to me, and that's why I went with Yeless. And for Yeless, there hasn't really been many debuffers. Renny just came out, so she is like debuff city for Yeless, and we really needed her. So, like I said, if you're going to run that, Estelle's perfect. Listell, I'm sorry, not Estelle, Listell. Listell is perfect. She adds to the debuffs for Renny to shine, and she messes with healing. So, pretty much, I just want to let you guys know what was going on, what your boy's been up to. I really hope that all of you had some luck on this banner because it was really cool. And I'm really happy that Langrisser is doing something like that, making it that much easier for us to get the characters that we want. The odds of me pulling Listell out of the character pool, it was pretty low. So events like these focus banners, they are extremely awesome. I'm very happy that I got to partake in this. I completely almost forgot about it because my main account is pretty well off. The only character I'm missing is Zarita, and I did miss her on her focus banner too. But I'm not too sad about it. I have a lot of characters to work on. I got Listell to build. I'm going to have a lot of fun with her. And of course I have Renny. I'm still the most excited about Renny. Okay? Like, Renny definitely is the one that makes the world go round for my alt account. And she's up to like 4,200 power level, which isn't that bad on my alt. So pretty much this is what your boy's doing. After this though, after today, we're going to be saving. We're going to be saving every little crystal we can get because we do have some new characters on their way to us. I'm really curious to see how powerful these characters are going to be because it's like they just released these limited characters, which are extremely powerful. So I would really like to see how they follow up with that. Like, where are these new characters going to fit in? Are they going to be around the same power level as these limited characters? Are they going to be a little bit stronger? Who knows? And maybe, just maybe, we'll get another awesome SR character. I've really been excited with the SR characters that we've been getting. So, things are looking pretty awesome. I cannot wait to see. So I will definitely be doing a video on, let's see. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing a video on the 8th talking about the new patch that we get, and yeah, you guys will hear from me then for sure. But Mobile Gamers Unite, definitely take advantage of this Valentine's Day thing. You know, if you want one of these characters, pretty much you pull an SSR and you get to pick whichever one you want. You can either keep that character or the 50 shards that you got from them, or you can exchange it for their significant other. So a lot of people have been pulling Elwyn right now. A lot of people in my guild have been pulling Elwyn, and yeah, I see how they're doing it now. It's this whole Valentine's Day thing. So I'm glad I got to take part in that, even if it was only on my alt account. And it's kind of cool because now my alt account is finished up. So I'm just going to be grinding these characters out, and I'm going to be spending a lot more time on my main account and trying to progress. So I'm trying to break into the 6,000 power level right now. I have quite a few characters that are at like 5,700, 5,600. You know, they're stuck right between 5,000 and 6,000. So that's really what I'm working on. I have to do some bonds. I have to finish grinding out some equipment, leveling it up. I have about 4 or 5 pieces of equipment right now that need to be leveled up. I've combined the gear and I've starred them up. I just don't have the resources to actually, you know, increase that item by 10 more levels. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I wish everybody the best luck out there. And truth be told, guys, this banner was actually kind of terrible for me. like I said, I've been buying that $4 bundle and throwing 2 tickets every day. And I think today was the first gold summon that came down. They were all blues up until today, and that gold turned into an SSR, and that's, well, that's how I got Landius and traded him for Listell. But I actually thought that we weren't going to be able to get anything at all from this banner, and I just thought it was kind of like my luck evening out a little bit, because I've been pretty damn lucky with the limited banner. I really did not think I would have all of the limited characters on both of my accounts. I didn't think that was going to happen at all. I didn't plan for it. I planned for it on my main account, and I just got extremely lucky on my alt account. So I've been pretty happy with that, and that's going to keep me busy because I have those characters to level up. So hopefully I can put a rush on that and get my power where I want it to be in the next week, because after that we're going to be looking at new characters and a whole bunch of cool stuff too. And there's a lot of good stuff coming out over on the Chinese side. I definitely want to see all of that, because, it's nice to know what we got coming in the future. So I'm also kind of curious how many changes they make. I mean, have there been any changes? I don't know. I don't play the Chinese side. Have they nerfed any of the characters? Has there been any changes like that? If anybody knows of anything that's been nerfed so far from the Chinese side that's come over to our side, please let me know. Because as far as I know, there haven't been any nerfs yet. And that's just something that I'm personally curious about. Because that right there, I mean, that kind of tells us if we can look at the Chinese side and know that that's relevant data that's going to be the same over here. If they start nerfing and changing everything, then obviously you're not going to be able to get as good of an idea about what's coming to us by looking at the Chinese side. But as far as I know, nothing's really been nerfed yet. We're pretty much getting the same exact game as the Chinese servers are. Now, that's kind of like a guess. Now, if anybody wants to correct me on that, I will gladly take that. And please do explain what we have that's nerfed, that's not nerfed over in China, obviously, or what we have that's different. If anybody knows anything about that, please, I'm asking you, educate me. I'd really like to know. So other than that, I'm going to be paying very close attention, because this game just looks awesome right now. It feels good, and I'm expecting more of the same. So, and I'm very happy about that. Mobile Gamers Unite, I hope you guys get everything that you're pulling for, and you all have a nice day. Your boy's one click away. Peace.